Algebra 1 with Miss Andrea. Today we're going to continue on our statistics chapter, which this is in the online book. It's going to be Module 8, which is listed as Unit 6A. And the title of the chapter is Describing Data. And we're on page 2, so this is Lesson 2. So today we're going to get into center of data. And remember, center of data is there's different ways to describe the information that's in the center. So if you take the data and you put it in order from least to greatest to measure what's in the center. Now, the two main ways are the median and the mode. And we're going to get into those today. So I said median and mode. I'm sorry, I meant mean and median. So we're going to get into both of those today. So the mean is the average of numbers. We already discussed this. So what is the average? Well, it means you're going to add it all up, then divide by how many things you added up. So if you added together 10 things, you're going to divide by 10. If you added together 3 things, you're going to divide by 3. So we've got an example right here for us, 11, 6, and 7. What is the mean or the average of these numbers? Well, you add them all together. 11 plus 6 plus 7, and I got 24. And then I'm going to divide by 1, 2, 3. I'm going to divide by 3 since that's how many numbers I had, and that is 8. So the mean of this data is 8. And remember, we use the X bar to write mean. So if you see an X with a little line over it, that's called an X bar. X bar. And it means to say how you would read this is the mean is 8. You wouldn't say X bar equals 8. You'd say the mean is 8. Okay? All right, so if that's mean, what is median? Well, median, remember, is just like when you're driving and your parents are driving down the road. You've got cars zooming down one way and zooming the other way. That thing right there in the center is the median. A lot of times it's a cement thing or some grass and some trees, depending on which street you're on. Sometimes it's just a yellow line, but either way, that is the median, a yellow-orange line, right? And so what is the median of these numbers? The first thing you have to do when you're trying to find median, now we did not do this with the mean, but we do have to do this with median, is you have to put them in order from least to greatest. 6, 7, 11, and the median is the number in the middle, median. Now, what happens if you have an even number of data points? So say you had 3, 6, 7, and 11. So that's 4. So the middle is right here where there is no number. Well, how do you tell what the median is? You're going to find the average of the two numbers on either side of the median. So 6 plus 7 is going to be 13. And then you're going to divide by 2, and you're going to get 6.5. So the median in this case would be 6.5. And we don't have a fancy way of writing this. No, like Y with a squiggle over the top or anything. It's just called median. You would write it as the median is. You'd write it all out. All right, center of data. Now, this is a word problem, a real life problem. So we're going to model, this is modeling statistics for us, right? The April high temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit for 5 consecutive years in Rhode Island are listed below. Find the mean and the median of the set. So we're going to start with the mean. So we're going to add them all up together. Okay, I'm going to add them all up. And that came to 429. And now I want to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I get 85.8. And so this is my mean. So how do I write that? I'm going to write it with the X bar. So mean is 85.8. Okay. Now, It says we're supposed to find the median and the mean. So the median, we have to, first step is write these in order. Write data, if you're taking notes, this is what you'd write down, median, to find median, to find median. Write data in order from least to greatest. To median is number in middle. With a caveat, if no middle number, find average of two closest numbers. Okay, those are your steps to find the median. So let's write these in order from least to greatest. So 77 is our first number. Then we've got 84, then 86, then 90, then 92. So 77, 84, 86, 90, 92. They're all crossed off. That's why I know I got every single number in there. Another way to make sure you got every single number is you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I have 5 numbers in both data sets, then I know I've gotten them hopefully all written over correctly. So the median is the number in the middle. So in this case, the median is 86. So while the mean was 85.8, the median is 86. Okay. Those are the two main measures of center of data. So now we're going to talk about quartiles. Quartiles. You have 4 quartiles. So you take your data and you're dividing it up quarter, quartile. How many sets are you going to divide this into? Well, we're going to divide it into 4. We're going to divide it into 4 quarters, right? These are quartiles. So this is the first quartile. Quartile 1 is 3. This is quartile 2, is the same thing as your median. Quartile 3 is over here. So all these are going to be in quartile 3's data. Now, there's also your lowest and your highest. And remember, we talked about range. Our range was if we take the highest and subtract the lowest. So in this case, our range is 7. Okay. We also talked about IQR, interquartile range. That was one of our vocabulary words. And that was when you take quartile 3 and subtract quartile 1. 7 minus 3 is 4. Some other data, we could find the mean if we wanted to. Another thing to look at is mode. What numbers repeated the most? And there's not a specific one that's repeated the most. We have 2 8s, 2 6s, and 2 3s. We're going to get into mode in a later lesson, so we'll talk about that. I think that's about it for these, for the information. I think I'm going off memory of all the important numbers that you need. But so here in quartiles, you take and you divide it in half and you find the median, right? In this case, we did not have a number right in the middle. So we added 5 plus 6, and then we divided by 2, and that gave us 5.5. That's how we got the median when there wasn't one. So then we took all of this information, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 pieces of data. So the one that's right there in the middle, the 3, is our quartile 1. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of data on this half of the median. So the one that's right there in the middle, that's quartile 3. Okay, so quartile 1 is 3. Quartile 2 is 5.5 right here in the middle, and quartile 3 is 7. Again, if it was just 1, 3, 4, 5, and you were right here in the middle, you would average 3 and 4 to figure out what quartile 1 was, if you had an even number instead of an odd, okay? All right, so I've got some questions here for you. I want you to pause the video, go ahead and work these out on your own, and then come back and we'll do them together. Leah's quiz scores are listed below. Find the mean and the median of Leah's quiz scores. So we're going to be looking for the mean and the median. All right, so let's look at this. We don't have to do anything for mean to write it down. Let's just start adding. 88 plus 84 plus 85 plus 86 plus 90. Oops, that's not 90. There we go. Plus 81 equals 514. Divide by 2, and I get two, not 2. What do I divide by? Y'all tell me. I'm going to divide by 6 because there were 6 pieces of data that I added together. So my mean came to 85.6 repeating, which is approximately 86. I'm going to round up there. You could round to 85.7, depending on what your teacher tells you to round to. Okay, the median. So let's look at this. Our lowest number is 81. Then we have 84, then 85 and 86, 88 and 90. All right, and if I remember correctly, there's 6 pieces of data, so 3 over is right there in the middle, 3 and 3. So I've got to add these 2 up and divide by 2. 85 plus 86 divided by 2 is going to be 85.5. All right, let me change numbers here. Jerry recorded how many minutes of television he watched each week. Find the mean and the median. So the mean and the median. All right, mean is 35 plus 75 plus 25 plus 55 plus 60 plus 45 plus 70. Oh, I didn't clear it from before. I got to try it again. 35 plus 75 plus 25 plus 55 plus 60 plus 45 plus 70. And I got 365 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of data is going to be 52.14285714. So let's round to 52.1. It's approximately 52.1. All right, so let's go ahead and write these in order. 25, 45, 55. Oh, nope. 35, 45, and 55. All right. 60, 70, and 75. 60, 70, 75. All right, and halfway in the down, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right smack dab in the middle is 55. All right, find the first and third quartile in this set of data. It is not in order, so let's put in order. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did not put, here's another 2, here's a 1, and then 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it's all crossed out, but because I had to go back and add that 2 and the 1, I want to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, there, we're good. So halfway in between, from 10 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right there is our median, which means we have to average these two, which means it's going to be my pen stopped working. Sorry about that, y'all. 4.5. There we go. So that is our median, which we technically did not have to find the first and third. We just need to know where it was. Then halfway in between these is going to be this one. If you notice, there's 2 on this side and 2 on that side. So this is quartile 1. And then on this one, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is going to be quartile 3. So we've got 2 and then quartile 1 and then 2 and then the median. 2 and then quartile 3 and then 2 at the end. So there's 2 in between every quartile there. So quartile 1 is 2 and quartile 3 is 8. All right, find the first and third quartile of this set of data. All right, let's see what's the lowest. We're going to go with 8, and then 9. Oh, there's another 8, and there's 2 10s, 11 and 12, and then 14 and 15. Cutting it close there, Miss Andrea. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So halfway between 9 is not going to land on a number. So I'm going to have 4 on each, 5 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that didn't work. 1, 2. Oh, there we go. 10 is where I landed with 4 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my quartile 3, otherwise known as my median, is going to be right there at 10. So that leaves me with 2 on each side. So it's easy to split this, but that means that I'm going to have to average these. So this is 8.5. 8 plus 9 divided by 2 is 8.5. And then my quartile 3 is right here. So I'm going to have to average these. 12, halfway between 12 and 14. 12 plus 14 divided by 2 is 13. So quartile 1 is 8.5 and quartile 3 is 13. All right, so now we've got 2 real world modeling problems for us. Corey is a basketball player. His goal is to average. Average is another word for what? Mean. To average at least 15 points per game. Below are the scores for Corey's first 9 games. He has 1 game left. How many points should Corey try to score in his last game to meet his goal? So remember, to find the average, we're going to add up all 10 of his games. The 9 he's already played so far, plus the 1 unknown. What do we do when there's an unknown in algebra? We give it a letter. And then we're going to take all of that, that's all in parentheses, and we're going to divide by how many there were. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we already know there's 10 of them. And we want that number to equal 15. Okay, so the first step we're going to do is go ahead and combine all these constants that we have here, all these numbers. Okay, so 14 plus 16 plus 16 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I got 130 plus x divided by 10 equals 15. So I've just taken what was in my parentheses and I've combined all of these numbers here. And that's what I got for my numerator. And then I divided by 10. That's what's on my denominator. And then it's equal to 15 because that's what he wants his final average or mean to be. Okay, so now we need to solve for x. When we solve for x, remember, we're going to be going up the PEMDAS instead of down. So we're going to undo the addition and subtraction first. There's no addition and subtraction that we can undo because this is inside the parentheses. So that's going to be right there on the top. So the first thing we're going to undo is multiplication and addition. So we're going to undo this division. Multiplication and division, sorry about that. We're going to undo this division right here. Since this is a divide, we're going to multiply by 10 on both sides. So we're going to have left 130 plus x. It can come out of the parentheses now, equals 150. So now that we've taken something out of the parentheses, we're going to start back at the bottom and work our way up. So we're going to undo any addition and subtraction first. So what's happening to x? It's being added to 130. So in order to undo that, we can subtract 130 from both sides. And we're going to be left with x equals 20. Okay, so Corey needs to score 20 points. We need to write this in a sentence since we have a word problem. Corey must score at least 20 points to have an average of 15 points or higher. Because that's what he said, at least 15 points, right? All right, so moving on to the next one. Lauren has 6 quizzes in a semester, and so far she's made the scores below in 5 of those quizzes. What does Lauren need to make on her last quiz so her average is above 85%? Okay, so we need to add all of these together, and there's only 5. She has a total of 6 quizzes. So that unknown quiz we're going to call X, and then it's going to be divided by how many quizzes she had. And this time it's going to equal a percent. When we write a percent in a math sentence, how do we write it? We write it as a decimal, which means we've gone and moved the decimal point 2 places. So 85% becomes 0.85. Now I'm going to combine my like terms or the constants here. I'm going to go ahead and start off that way. So 76 plus 84 plus 92 plus 91 plus 87 equals 430. So 430 plus X is the numerator. 6 is the denominator. Now, if I didn't have these parentheses here, it's going to equal 0.85. When we work up our PEMDAS, that P still applies for parentheses because it's an enumerator. There's implied parentheses whether or not you have written them. Okay, so you cannot undo that addition even if you don't see the parentheses there because they are implied, meaning they're there even when you don't see them. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is multiply both sides by 6. 0.85 times 6 is going to be 5.1. I'm moving over to the left here. So I'm going to have 430 plus X equals 5.1. Okay. Now I need to subtract. I'm going to subtract by 430. This doesn't look like I'm going to get the correct answer. You know why I'm not getting the correct answer? Because 85, they didn't do percents here for our when we were adding. This is 87%, 91%, 92%, 84, and I did not notice that. So it makes sense to double check your work if your answer makes sense or not. So let's go ahead. 5.1 minus 430 is going to be negative 424.90. That doesn't make sense for her to score a negative 424.9 on her test, right? So it was obvious that that was the wrong answer. So what we're going to do is go ahead and erase this work here. And instead of saying 0.85%, we're just going to say 85. Okay? So it equals 85, and we still need to multiply by 6. 85 times 6 is 510. So 430 plus X equals 510. And then we're going to subtract 430 from both sides. So X equals 80. So we can say Lauren must score an 80% or higher on her final quiz for her quiz average to be, for her quiz average to be above 85%. She can't score an 80%. She must score not an 80. She must score above an 80 if she wants her test average to be above 85%. Because if she scored at least 80%, it would be exactly 85 as the average. So since they didn't say at least 85, since they said above 85, we have to put in our answer, she must score above 80% in order for it to be above 85. This is why writing out the word problem is extremely important. All right, and that's the end of this lesson. I will see you